One, you are now live.
Hey, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the October meeting of the Board Committee on Academic and Student Affairs. The meeting is hereby called to order. I've asked the secretary to call the roll, please.
Thank you. Regent Bloom.
Present.
Regent Cummings.
Present.
Regent James.
Present.
Regent Porth.
Present.
And I would like to recognize our ex officio member for Professor Sasinker and Regent Sophia Japinen for joining us today. And we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. First item of business is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of the ASA meeting of September 5th. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any comments, discussion, quibbles, quarrels with the minutes of September 5th?
None.
Seeing none, I call for a motion to approve. All those in favor of approving the minutes of September 5th?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes of September 5th are approved. We begin our journey today with Eastern Connecticut State University. This is only Dr. Wilson's second appearance with us, so I hope you're ready. Would you like to start with the academic update?
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Few updates from Eastern. We had a ribbon cutting last week for our new nursing simulation lab at Wyndham Hospital. Thank you to everyone who was able to attend. The chancellor was in attendance, the governor was there as well, and then he came over to campus and taught a section of LAC 200, which is part of our Eastern Liberal Arts Core, and we got some lovely news coverage for all of that event last week. Some other interesting things that have been going on in our academic world. On the 20th, our Center for Connecticut Studies, led by Dr. Tom Belsersky from the History Department, hosted a conference with about 140 books on campus titled Present from the Start, People of Color in Connecticut's Revolutionary Era, 1765 to 1836. We had a keynote speaker from SUNY Geneseo, Dr. Catherine Adams, as well as a number of speakers, including Eastern students, faculty from around the region, historians, museum studies professionals. It was an extremely well attended event. And finally, and very hot off the press, we've recently been awarded a 5-year, $2.25 million Strengthening Institutions Program grant from the U.S. Department of Ed. This is a project titled Modeling Student Success, Supporting Our Students and Strengthening Our Institution. And it's designed to enhance Eastern's ability to serve students who face both academic and non-academic barriers to success. So we'll be doing a lot of work around that in the coming years, including expanding our predictive analytics to proactively identify and support at-risk students, expand our advising models, and establish an endowed equity fund to ensure that low-income students have equal access to co-curricular and experiential opportunities, overall supporting infrastructure, closing equity gaps, enhancing persistence, and continuing to build on our mission. And that's all we have for now.
Thank you. Okay, you have a modification to propose to the BSN for the program in nursing. Regents have received a substitute resolution for that program, that substitute for the one that is in the package. The substitution is one of format, not of substance. The board secretary and general counsel is seeking to make the board resolutions a little bit more self-explanatory. So the resolution has whereas clauses in the form of whereas, and then therefore be it resolved. A format which I actually happen to like, because you have a sense of what the just resolutions, just looking at it by itself, stands for. So here we are. Dr. Wilson, do you want to present it?
I'd actually like to invite my colleague, Dr. Christina Nadeau, to talk us through the changes.
Welcome to you, Dr. Nadeau.
Thank you. This is my first time ever at the Board of Regents anything, so I can summarize it for you. I'm really excited about it, actually. Even though it's a brand new program, we did a deep dive in the beginning and identified some areas that we could improve for our students right away. We need to take into consideration, while we're looking forward to our accreditation visit from the CCNE in the spring of 26, all of the essentials and all of the comprehensive approach to nursing education for our students. So you look at your community of interest, which is our local Windham County and the Eastern region of Connecticut. We look at the patient and population, the healthcare employer population, and the student population. And we want to make sure that we meet everyone's needs. And that's what drove us to look at the program modification and determine that we could make a few changes that would be really impactful for our students. So we increased the clinical hours for the students in each of their clinical courses, so they get to spend more time, 90 clinical hours per clinical course, with the patient population and with their clinical adjunct faculty. We also added an introduction to professional nursing course in their first year. Recall that this is a direct entry program. Very unusual. It makes it a little more challenging for students to matriculate in and transfer in. However, there is a great deal of research that supports the cohort model for nursing students, and it helps them build their professional identity. It helps them network more effectively and develop those strong relationships that they need with their peers and their faculty to really, when they graduate, be prepared to practice. There's a lot of literature about the education practice gap. And we feel that the changes that we've made in the curriculum and our strong clinical partnership with Hartford Healthcare and our simulation lab, and also looking to bridge that academic and clinical gap together, which is what our accrediting body wants us to do, we feel that the modification is really important for our students, and it will be beneficial for everybody, patients included. Patient safety is at the end of all of it.
Are you concluded with the presentation or not?
That's what I have to share with you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Questions from the regents?
Well, I wanted to say congratulations. I think this is the focus that, we are moving in, in terms of the innovations in healthcare and, so I think this is very relevant to the current and prospective needs of the healthcare industry. And I'm very happy to see this program at Eastern. So congratulations. I had wanted to say before we started this particular topic, congratulations on getting any kind of a grant from the feds, and you better spend that money quickly before they take it.
Before it disappears. Yeah.
So that's really very, very, very exciting news, and pleased for all of the good news that is coming out of Eastern. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
For other questions or comments, Regent Cummings?
Yeah, I really like the program that you're trying to make work, and certainly the direct entry part of it is something that I hope it works for you. Having taught in nursing preparation courses for about 30 years, I can see why that might be a little bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
In your first year, what was the most surprising thing that you came across, seeing that first year students? Is there anything that kind of said, "Whoa, we didn't think about that," or something?
Yeah, actually, the first cohort was small, and it was comprised of some students who applied directly to the nursing program, and other students who were already here at Eastern. While all of this excitement with the CT Horizons grant kind of bubbled up, and then the program came to be and became approved, and students who were in health sciences said, "Wait, I'd rather be a nurse." So that cohort is, it's our first cohort. There are 23 students in it currently, and it's a mixture of not the strongest math and science scores in high school. So we realized that we had to adjust our acceptance criteria. And it feels like you're walking a tightrope, right? You want to give everyone an opportunity to realize their potential. But there's a lot of data that supports, your GPA in math and science in high school and how it predicts how well you will do with a robust nursing curriculum. So we are lucky that we have a health sciences program here, and the students, once we adjusted our acceptance criteria, each cohort has gotten stronger. Still generous acceptance, still gives a lot of students opportunity. They have to write a nursing essay as well. They have to have recommendation letters as well. But by using a fine-tooth comb to go a little deeper into their high school career of, their GPAs and the courses that they took, we've gotten a stronger cohort each year. So we have even though the program started, it was approved by the Board of Nursing in March of 2024. There were students who transferred in and had already been at Eastern for a year, so they're actually considered juniors right now. They'll graduate in 2027. But you're right. I mean, it's a little risky, right? When you think about retention and wanting the students to do really well, and there's no weed out process, right? Because that's why a lot of programs have all the nursing concentrated in the last 2 years of the bachelor's degree program. We think, and there is research to support this, that with really strong caring faculty and the cohort model and strong clinical academic partnership, that this will be what I'm hoping is the secret sauce to help these students really succeed and be invested. These students will stay in Connecticut. A lot of them will stay in the East region. So they're going to be able to practice in the areas that they had all of their clinical training, hopefully have networked really well. Their capstone project hours will lead to a position that they'll be happy with, because ultimately we want to retain these nurses in nursing, because that's another statistic that we have to look at. Nurses who last 2 years after graduation and then decide this isn't for me. So on both sides, we're working really hard to help this. Nursing is such a beautiful profession, and I want them to all not feel, if we can minimize the stress and strain for them and get them to be happier, that would be better.
In your acceptance criteria, you had a relatively heavy weighting on high school math scores. Is that something that you now, you said, yep, we did the right thing, or do you think that, there should be any other modifications in terms of your selection criteria?
I think probably we do need to collect some data. There are still students who they have to take a math placement test in order to get into their math course here at Eastern.
Right.
So there are still students who are placing into math 099, which is not the required math. It's just below math 135. We did modify instead of math 155, which was pre-calculus, which is not necessary for nurses.
Agreed. Yep.
So we brought that to 135. We are also looking at other ways we can support students with math. I mean, nurses in general. I've been a nurse for a long time. Math anxiety is a thing in nursing as well as in college students. So looking at different ways that we can really help them be successful with that. And we'll continue to collect data and see if we need to make any other modifications.
Is that dosage exam, I think you mentioned it in something I read, that's one of the things that the nursing students need to get through. Is that a significant roadblock, or how are you seeing that in terms of retention issues?
So the math remediation for dosage calculation, I spent most of my career as an oncology nurse, and I had to teach dosage calculation and chemotherapy calculations to nurses who were like, I can't do that. And once you got them through it, it was so exciting because they were so pleased. And I find that with the students as well. So, even if they don't pass the math requirement, the dosage calculation requirement at first, we remediate. And then we've added a 1 credit dosage calculation 7-week course to really help them immerse themselves in it. So they're not afraid of it.
So that would be like an optional course if a person needed that extra help with the dosage calculation?
Yeah, if they were really needing it, we would require it for them.
Okay.
But if it's open to anyone who just wants that higher level of comfort.
Oh, great. Okay. So now does that count against your total credit number, or is that something, in other words, you're hitting up against a max credit number all the time?
We are.
Is that 1 credit that they can't use elsewhere?
Yeah, we just added it this year in response to our math needs that we identified. So right now it's an extra if they needed it.
Okay. All right.
May I, Regent Cummings, if I may switch for the moment to Regent James?
I just wanted to comment, Dr. Nadeau, in your comments, you spoke about collaborations and the benefits of that. Curious in terms of any collaboration with WestCon's nursing program, how do they complement, differ over? I just like to understand a little bit about sort of the internal collaboration within the system.
So within the system, I feel I have a great relationship with each of the other CSU nursing leadership. And we've been working together on the Healthcare Career Council, which is statewide. We've met in person last June. But if I have questions, I reach out and they're very quick to respond. But we focused a lot. Our collaboration has been more with the clinical partner actually here and with Hartford Healthcare and the simulation lab. I feel like each of the CSUs has a unique flavor, and I think we're just trying to collaborate, and we have great relationships, but I haven't had to have overlap or modeling. I mean, since I've gotten here in September of 23.
So just a question from a student perspective. If you're
Yes.
in one of the programs and you see that there are, again, as you say, each one has a different focus, are we making it, the information available? Is it easy if a student wanted to transfer from one program to another, or have you had those conversations?
So the transfer question is really interesting because almost all nursing programs require you to take all of the nursing course curricula at that institution. So the transfer piece between programs where all of the nursing is stacked at the end of the BSN program, so in the junior and senior year, there's a lot more wiggle room for transfer in the beginning because the prerequisites overlap a great deal more. But for us, since we start our nursing course in this first year, in the spring of the first year with Introduction to Professional Nursing, it's a little more nuanced to accept transfers into our program. We do it, but it is a process where we have to carefully look at what the student brings with them. Sometimes they may have extra credits that they have to bring, but in order to matriculate into our program, they'll be a little ahead. It's not as seamless because of the nature of the direct entry.
Well, I'd be intrigued to know as the program progresses, because transfer ease is one of our goals, from a student success perspective. So I'd like to see how that over time develops and evolves.
Me too, because I would love to have a great streamlined process for that, because there is a lot of interest actually in our program. So thank you.
Thank you.
Regent Porth.
Thank you. I appreciate the discussion on this. I feel like nursing training, nursing education is one of our strengths as a system. And I certainly appreciate what Eastern is doing and what the other institutions within CSCU are doing. I believe we are one of the key stakeholders in Connecticut for the provision of healthcare because of all this good work that you're doing. Having said that, how does what you're proposing and this discussion relate to what Dr. Meduco has been doing with that special healthcare task force over the past year or so? Can you speak to that?
My experience with that is, I think, the Healthcare Career Services Network, where we meet routinely with Vicki Bizzuto and Dr. Diamond, and we collaborate. Also, social work, we consider all of the healthcare initiatives, not just nursing, but nursing seems to be a key stakeholder anchor in that group. So we're all looking at what other programs can we create and help streamline for students. It would be great for students to be able to start out as a phlebotomist or an EKG tech, and then get involved in working in healthcare, and then decide, oh, I'd like to go on for nursing. I know at Eastern we also are working on a paramedic certificate program, I think, and that also helps us look at interdisciplinary collaboration, which is another accreditation requirement, that healthcare is composed of a lot of moving parts and we all need to be communicating well and working well together. And so I had discussions with our social work department this week about some interdisciplinary simulation. So I think overall, the fact that we're all talking and we're all looking at all of it from the high view is very helpful. And it would be great to have students be able to step in at the lower level, gain knowledge and experience, and then that will help them in their education as well, because they'll come in with patient awareness and communication awareness. So I think it's a great thing we could really stack and build on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Diamond?
You're welcome.
Yes, I just wanted to say very, very quickly, both for Provost Wilson and to Dr. Nadeau, yes, you put forward a simple modification to your program. Everyone's very excited about Eastern's nursing program, and especially with the press that you've received in the past week. I was there at the ribbon cutting, and it was truly phenomenal to see the collaboration between a healthcare entity and our campuses, and to also give voice to the fact that our other campuses have those alliances as well. So I also wanted to point out to Regent Porth's point that the Health Career Council that Dr. Nadeau talked about is a very, very, very tight-knit group that is non-proprietary. They share all kinds of information and support to one another, because I cannot stress enough, all of the provosts on this call understand how hard it is to stand up any program. To stand up a nursing program that is a shift from where Eastern was as far as its academic programming. This has been a Herculean lift that they have done. And I just want to point that out and give great, great kudos to Eastern, to Dr. Nadeau. And it's exciting to watch this program progress. And back to Regent Porth's point about the task force, that report I just had to go into the other day and just sat there with a lot of admiration and pride over the fact that the Health Career Council put that together, both with Dr. Balmer and with Vicky Bizzuto. And it is a great, great resource and a broad overview to the healthcare portfolio of CSCU. So let me know if you want that to be placed in the top of your inboxes. I would be happy to send that to everyone.
Great. Thank you.
Regent Cummings, did you have enough for any further?
Yeah, real quick. To make room for that introduction to nursing course, it looks like you had to get rid of the nutrition course.
Yes.
And, you know, obviously in the last month, there's been some stuff out of HHS that indicates that they want more nutrition in medical education. So is this going to be something that you can get through without, you know, getting unwanted attention from the federal people?
Yes, I think so, because it makes, when I brought this to the Board of Nursing, they also appreciated the rationale for weaving nutrition through every population. Nutrition is part of health. So when we're talking about a CHF patient or a maternity patient or a pediatric patient, nutrition is a cornerstone of their healthcare. If they have dietary restrictions, if they have special nutritional needs. So it made a lot more sense for us to put the nutrition right in there with the lecture of the population and the clinical area that you're working in, because we can't put things in silos. And in nursing, you know, we've done that a little bit sometimes over the years. So this is an innovative approach, which the accreditors, that's the word they're using. They want an innovative approach to curriculum development and experimentation in teaching strategies to try and help bridge this clinical education gap.
Great.
I have one. I also want to add my compliments. In a former life, I was involved with the beginnings of a nursing program at my former institution at Lehman way back in the 1970s, and it is a considerable undertaking to start, and that we were not a college that had an overwhelming emphasis on healthcare at that time. It's changed since then, obviously, but so again, my compliments. Can you spend a minute or two? How was the experience of the first year students? I mean, what was the retention? How the students who started last year and are now in the sophomore year?
So the first cohort actually had 36 students in it, but some of the students, even from the very beginning, they were accepted already into health sciences and they transferred into the nursing program. And that was before I actually even got here. And then the program was approved by the Board of Nursing and to officially start in fall of 2024. Some of the students, I think, realized nursing wasn't for them. One student thought, for example, maybe I could, have a double major, nursing and something else. The expectations, because this was so new and the students didn't have a thorough understanding, I think that caused some student attrition, but they went right back out to health sciences and we gave them a lot of support. And I always tell the students, even if this doesn't mean nursing right now, because you can't maintain the GPA, or you need to repeat a course and there's a limit on how many times you can repeat a course in a nursing program, it doesn't mean you'll never be a nurse. And there's so many opportunities in healthcare to help patients and do good and make an impact, that let's help you find what you may love more or you may love for a while, excuse me, and then nursing can be a second career or a little bit later career. So I've gotten really positive feedback from those students. I've gotten a present from a student who thanked me so much for helping them, and they felt a weight was lifted because nursing is such a robust curriculum. It's not easy. It's just a lot because it really consumes your whole life. It is the best job, but so it's been positive, and I feel that we've had less attrition in the second cohort, and now we have our third cohort that just started this fall, and they're a very robust, very diverse group. So many of them were at the ribbon cutting. 3 of them were speakers. It was nothing but a proud educator moment to see them all there with their eyes like Christmas morning, seeing all the simulations. And we have a simulation coordinator starting on Monday. She's wonderful, very experienced educator. She's so excited to start. So sometimes I wish things would happen a little faster, but we're going along on a very positive route, and I've gotten so much support. So I think it's good. And the attrition in the first group was a little bit more because of the circumstance of that they weren't quite sure what they were choosing, I think, because it was this is available, I'm going to do it.
Thank you. I think, may I have a motion to approve the modifications as they are on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I think we've had a very thorough discussion, so unless I hear from Regents to the contrary, I move this to a vote. All those in favor of the modification as proposed, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Congratulations. The modification is approved. I think you did, if I may compliment, very commendable job in the presentation.
Thank you.
And it's my own experience. It's always an adventure with nursing and nursing students. And in spite of what students may see on television, to be on a floor at midnight with patients being very demanding and no doctors in sight, and it can make it very challenging. And I think the clinical part of this is that you're doing makes this really significant. So congratulations. The motion will be moved to the full board at the end of the month.
Thank you.
Provost Wilson, before we let you off the hook, do you want us to say, if we have below threshold the social work modification, do you want to make a brief statement about that?
Sure, this is just a small change to the prerequisites for the social work program that's a result of the updated general education ELAC program. So students are getting much more in those courses, and so there wasn't a need for the social work program to add additional requirements on for prereq. They, having reviewed the ELAC, they felt like it more than covered what their prerequisites had been requiring in terms of the liberal arts courses.
Thank you. I want to thank both the provost and Person Nadeau. I think you did, you made a fine presentation. Ms. Davis, did you?
I do. I just wanted to make a request in the shifting of the order of the agenda. Dr. Mulrooney has another meeting to go to briefly. So we were wondering if we could shift Central to the next item and then follow the order after that.
So who is who has to leave? I'm sorry.
Dr. Mulrooney for Central.
Okay. Okay. I have now that we have concluded with Eastern, I have another modification to propose to the agenda as well. I wanted to see the time here because Regent Fourth has to leave at 11, and we have the enrollment report, which we need to add to the agenda.
Okay.
So I would appreciate a motion to have the report from Central and to be followed by the enrollment report, which Dr. Blanchard will present.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Central.
Good morning, and I'm sorry about that. The agenda looks so short. I figured we'd be done by 10:30, but
Never
just have
take
a
anything
couple.
like that for granted.
I have a call with Indonesia at 10:30 for international students. Just some quick updates. One, we wanted to share on October 16th, Central will be hosting their AI conference. This is our second AI conference. It's keeping higher education engaging, relevant, and impactful. I don't know if I can use the chat. It will let me, I will put the web link in there if it will let me. Nope, I don't have chat function. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There it goes. There we go. We have several speakers coming on the 16th. It was a very successful event last year, so I think we're going to try to keep doing this annually. And the other announcement we have, we applied for AASCNU's student-centered course scheduling project. This was a competitive application. It was only a limited number of cohorts would be accepted, and we learned yesterday that Central has been accepted into the cohort. So we're kind of excited to continue our work with AASCNU. Other than that, I think the provost reported last time that we had sort of a banner year for enrollment for our first year. And as we've now passed the census date, our numbers remain strong. So we're keeping busy taking care of all of these students. And with that, I'll yield back.
Thank you.
Any question for Central?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You have received the enrollment report came in somewhat late, so it was just circulated in the last day or so. But the board policy says that we can review the enrollment report in October. So we are in October. Dr. Blanchard, do you want to start?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
The regents all now have, the committee members all now have a copy of the enrollment report.
Right. Thank you, Regent Bloom, and good morning, regents and colleagues.
Can you speak up a little bit, Dr. Blanchard?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my presentation. Can you see my presentation on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Again, good morning. And I apologize for the tardiness of the report. October snuck up on me. So with that being said, let me move forward. So this is our enrollment report for the fall of 2025. And I wanted to begin this presentation or this report with some clarity about the nature of the data being reported. You'll see in the detailed report that you have in front of you, and I'll simply summarize that material here in my presentation. But what you'll see is some data being relevant to the current the current academic year, and other data being relevant to past academic year. And the reason for that is the timing of the reports and the coverage of those reports. So in general, you'll see data on enrollments, access, completions, and talent. Enrollments, of course, is our primary objective here, and we'll report those. We'll report the most recent data on that for the current semester. But if you recall, the board added strategic metrics associated with access, completions, and talent. And while some of the access measures will cover the current semester, much of that data won't be available until November. So what you'll see are data that are relevant to the last academic year. And for completions, naturally, those data are available in October, and they will cover the last academic year because the completions, these will be students who graduated this spring in 25, covering the academic year 24-25. And then finally, when we present the talent data, these data come from our P20 data set, where it goes through a large process of matching with the Department of Labor. And so they tend to come 2 years in arrears. And as it happens, we do have that data now, but it's fairly old. And the most recent data will be available at the beginning of the next year in 2026. So one of the things that I'll address at the end of my presentation, something at the request of the Chancellor, is to show the ways we're trying to change this report, to improve it, to include expanded enrollment counts, to count the breakouts of dual and concurrent enrollments, as well as to count non-credit students, as well as to improve the talent outcome report. Right now, we're reporting talent by program. What we'd like to do is report talent in a more workforce-based manner, that is to say, by industry. So with that being said, let me begin my report. So enrollments across the system are up by 7.2%. And by up, I mean fall to fall, fall 24 to fall 25. You'll see the data for each of our institutions and each of our campuses of CT State Community College. You'll see mostly increases. Only a couple of the campuses at CT State showed some decreases, but across the board, we see increases of 7.2. Now, what you don't see on this slide are the dual and concurrent enrollment data, and that's part of what we want to correct when we move forward with this report. But let me add that of Central's 11,265 students, 1,130 of those are dual and concurrent enrollment students. Of Eastern's 4,773 students this semester, 754 were or are dual and concurrent enrollments. You'll see that Southern is reporting 10,000, a little over 10,000 students. 2,451 are dual and concurrent enrollment. You'll see Western is reporting 4,573 students this semester. 372 of those are dual and concurrent enrolled students. And finally, of the 37,863 credit-bearing students for CT State Community College, 5,885 are dual and concurrent enrollment. So the total dual and concurrent enrollment for this semester, this fall semester, is 10,592. So in terms of the rate of increase, the dual and concurrent program has been increasing tremendously. That increase amounts to 176% for Central, 52% for Eastern, 76% for Western, for Southern, 128% for Western, and an increase of 7% for CT State Community College, totaling a total of 33% increase in dual and concurrent enrollment across the system. This is one of the reasons we want to change the report so we can reflect that change, because this has been a board priority, and we certainly are achieving great success in expanding our dual and concurrent enrollment students. Back to what you see on the screen, the middle panel of the table shows our graduate changes. So you'll see that our graduate enrollments have increased substantially at Charter Oak, although they're still quite small, increasing from 83 students to 115 graduate students in the current semester. You'll see that Central Connecticut State faced a slight decrease in their graduate students. Eastern is really increasing their graduate enrollment population by 10% this past year. Southern, slight decrease, and Western saw a slight increase in their graduate student population. So overall, for the system, we're seeing small increases in our graduate population. And if you look at the bottom of the table, you'll see strong increases across the board, at least at CT State Community College, in our certificate programs. So you'll see the tremendous numbers there, though they are relatively small relative to our traditional student population. This is a good sign focused on some of our workforce-based programs. In terms of access, when we talk about access, we're talking about access to college and universities for students of color, students who are from low-income families, and of course, we want to be able to report the changes as it relates to those who receive the Handley-Pact benefits from the state. So starting with Handley-Pact, these are data that are a year in arrears. So you'll see changes from fall 23 to fall 24. As I mentioned earlier, we will have these data updated in November. But you'll see increases at CT State that are pretty strong in terms of their take-up rate for the PAC benefits. Going to the Pell, these are students who are eligible for the federal Pell Grant. You'll see variable changes for CT State. In total, the increase in Pell eligible students was 4.1%. The increase for our Charter Oak students was almost 12%. And you'll see increases for Central and Eastern and slight decreases for Southern and Western, totaling decreases overall for the system-wide for our Pell students. This is not much of a concern because it's probably driven by the fact that many of our students are taking advantage of the Pell program, the PACT program. So in terms of student diversity, now I'm using the word student diversity to represent effectively the percentage of Black, Hispanic, Asian, and other students. You'll see that we're increasing our number of students from diverse populations across the board. System-wide, that increases 5.9%, and you can see how they increase at each of our campuses. In terms of completions, this table represents changes from spring 24 to spring 25. So these are the most recent data that we have, and we're showing them by sort of aggregated CIP codes, program codes. And what you'll see here is that a fairly large share, well, these are changes over time. The report that you have in hand will show the actual numbers of completions by institution and campus, but this shows how this year's completion rate compares to the previous year's completion rate. And so you'll see mostly across the system, we're graduating more students. We're graduating more students in the business programs, in the computer programs, in education, in engineering, and other programs. So we're very excited to show this level of success, particularly for our CT State students, where success for these students will naturally lead to success in the workforce as well as at the university should they choose to transfer. Our retention rates and our graduation rates are shown here. For retention, CT State using traditional retention rate measures are up by 4.6%, and they're slightly up by nearly 1% at our universities. In terms of our graduation rates, CT State reports strong increases in graduation rates, and even the universities are up overall by 2%. Slightly lower for a couple of our universities, slightly higher for Southern and Western. This is one of the areas where we want to really have a conversation with our academic community, particularly with CT State, led by Provost Hynek, because these measures come from the traditional IPEDS measure, and they don't really represent student success at the community college level, as well as they represent success for a traditional four-year student at universities. So the Chancellor, as I said earlier, asked me to share with you additional considerations related to some of the changes we want to make. I've already said that, IPEDS is limited in its ability to reflect the full breadth and impact of our learner population. We are serving students, not only just credit-bearing students, but students who come to our courses, who take our courses for non-credit reasons. We have contracts with companies and organizations across the state to try to support their workers. Often those activities are not for credit, but we want to make sure the state understands the full breadth of the students that we serve in the state of Connecticut. Importantly, with CT State and Charter Oak, they operate on a continuous enrollment basis. It's not just students who sign up in the fall and spring, or even in the winter intersession or summer. They have continuous enrollment-based programs. So we want to make sure that we enter into a conversation with our academic community to show the full range of success being delivered by our institutions, particularly when they deliver programs that are not necessarily the traditional semester-based programs, 14 weeks at a time, for example. As you know, the HR 1, some would call the Big Beautiful Bill, has included workforce Pell programs. And these programs are to support non-credit and short-term credential learning learners. And at some point, we're going to have to be held accountable to those federal reporting requirements. And so part of the conversation we want to have with the academic community is, how do we do that? I see there's opportunity with regard to the Workforce Pell program to support students who do not want to take traditional 2-year or 4-year programs, but want to take more short-term learning programs so that they can enter into the workforce in the way they so choose. And so that will be forthcoming as well. So the Chancellor asked that we consider some of these changes as we move forward and as we think about how we change this report to capture these nuances that aren't well captured in the sort of traditional data that we report to IPEDS and that we report to this committee and the board. So the changes that we are looking at particularly are the expanded enrollment counts to capture the dual and concurrent enrollments, as well as the non-credit workforce learners. We want to look at other unique learners in other programs, as well as focus more on workforce-based outcomes, those outcomes that the governor and our industry partners here in the state are quite interested in seeing. So with that, I'd be happy to take any of your questions about this report and any of the data that you have in front of you.
Thank you, Dr. Blanchard. I just want to make one comment, and then we'll open to questions from the regents. This report, as you may remember, was a consequence of concern by the board several years ago that it was not receiving current and consistent reporting on enrollments. And then Vice Chair Jim McCarthy and I developed this format. Dr. McCarthy is a demographer, very good at informational matters. This format was approved by the board, and the schedule was approved by the board. We would be happy to entertain any improvements, but I think that a proposal for change should come to ASA and to the board. A change in format, additional, however you and the Chancellor think that this can be improved. I said this to the Chancellor the other day. We are certainly happy to consider, but I want to keep it in that this process of what the report looks like as a formal board matter. So whatever proposed changes you and the Chancellor are recommending, we'll go through the same process that this initial format went through.
Thank you, Chair Bloom. I certainly agree, and I didn't want to be too presumptuous about this. The Chancellor certainly agrees as well. Before we bring it to the board, however, we do want to have this conversation, these changes with the entire academic community, led by
Yeah.
our provosts, and in particular Provost Heineck, in terms of the changes associated with some of the workforce programs and the retention and graduation metrics that are better suited for community college students.
Some of this is likely to be impacted by what happens in Washington as well. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's
I think we have a hand up with a question. Is it?
Yeah,
Bridget Cummings?
I'm kind of new to these forms. If you can you show that completion rate form that you had showed previously? I just want to make sure I'm interpreting it correctly.
So these aren't completion rates that I showed. I showed sort of changes over time. What you have in your report are counts, completion counts, right?
Right, but the slide that you had shown just previously had percentages, and there was it seemed like there were pretty large swings, and I just wanted to. Oh, there, great, fantastic. Yeah.
There were some large swings here. So that tells me that we're graduating more students than we did the previous spring, which is encouraging. In some cases, it's lower. In other cases, it's higher.
Yeah,
Any one in particular that caught your eye?
Yeah, well, like in the healthcare under CT state, there was a couple of, again, these swings are huge. And in some cases, they're up by huge amounts. In some cases, they're down. And I'm not sure if it's a statistical anomaly or if there's something real happening there. For instance,
I think if you look at the report that you have showing the counts, you'll see small numbers for some of our programs. It's likely that some of the large percentage changes is a function of a change from, say, 5 to 15 or
okay, I
5
follow
to
you.
8.
Right. Okay. All right. So like, for instance, in some of the healthcare, you have some campuses that have large, like for instance, Naugatuck has a large healthcare population, and their change was 2%, whereas a Housatonic was down 53%. That may be just due to the small numbers involved.
That's correct. I'm looking at the report here for Housatonic in the healthcare area. I'm reporting 40 completions in healthcare at Housatonic. A decrease of 53% suggests that they graduated something close to 80 the previous year.
Okay. Again, is that something that is normal scatter year to year, or is that something we should
Well,
be
one of the
alerted to?
things we're doing, and I'm going to take this slide down so I can see you when I speak to you.
Okay.
One of the things that we're doing at CT State that may confound some of these numbers is once we became one community college, one of the, I think, most exciting outcomes we face are almost 30% of our students are taking classes at multiple campuses.
Okay, with you.
And so there are some differences that may be affecting the completion percentage change numbers that are born of the way that students are taking courses now.
Understood.
One of the things we have to do is sort of reconcile the home campus with other campuses where they may be taking coursework.
Regent Porth.
I think that this is one of the most important things we can be doing, and I certainly appreciate this report and this opportunity to discuss these issues together. I'll ask the same question I did, I think, this time last year. How does our performance with regard to these numbers compare to comparable systems or institutions?
Well, I don't have the answer to that question today, Regent Porth, but it is a good question and one we should consider as we consider changes in this reporting structure and format. Obviously, there's a lot of data we can present to you. We have made some choices together about what we do present in our report. Peer-based comparisons didn't make the cut, so to speak, but I just don't know what these metrics look like for other institutions, but I can dig up those numbers over the next couple of weeks and share them with this committee if you would like.
I would certainly appreciate that I just think it's a way to put this in a larger context so we can know for sure how we're performing vis-a-vis our sister institutions.
Yeah.
And
So, I'm sorry.
so one other quick comment and a question. I really do appreciate the extra work and the reporting on the dual and concurrent enrollment. It is a priority of the boards, and I think it's one of the key strategies for access, which is a priority for us. So thank you for that. And I hope we can keep an eye on that over time and continue to grow it. I know many people in this meeting and others as well have worked hard to get these numbers to where they are. And I think it's really important. So thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to say, Ira, is I appreciate the extra detail on degree, for lack of a better way to describe this, versus non-degree teaching, education, and completion. I really do believe that our mission, that it's already expanding, and I completely support the idea of growing that part of what we do. Are you able to, and maybe you said this already, but are you able to say what percentage of all of our students are degree students versus students trying to get certificates, stackable credits, licenses, all those other things? Are you able to say, and how does that compare to other institutions?
I am roughly. If you look at the total head count in the enrollment report that you have, the more detailed report, you'll see that we have nearly 66,000 students across our system. Those students are all credit-bearing students. However, if you add all of the other non-credit-bearing and other learners that we serve, whether they are through workforce programs or just simply our non-credit programs at our institutions, we serve nearly 100,000 students every year. And so to answer your question, about 2/3 of our students that we serve are credit-bearing. So about 1/3 are non-credit bearing. And so that really highlights the significance of that part of our mission that is just missing in these traditional reporting. These are data we do not send to iPads, so it's not captured in the iPads data. So we wouldn't be able to compare our non-credit activity on a peer-to-peer basis. But I suspect that with the new HR 1 bill, there will be additional non-credit reporting, and we want to be aligned with that so that we can, when that time comes, we want to be able to be ready to compare ourselves to our peers across the nation in terms of our service to workforce and non-credit bearing students.
I really appreciate that, and I'll say it again. I think this part of our mission is really important, and any further discussion, any more information we can get to understand how it's actually playing out within our system is much appreciated. Thank you.
Let me reiterate, the Chancellor is quite passionate about the work that we do in that particular part of our mission. And it's one that I think links up quite nicely with the strategic workforce focus of the governor and others across the state.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may ask one question regarding CT State, my home campus is Three Rivers, and I take a course at Capital, does that course count toward what we consider Capital's workload, or does that course count in Three Rivers because my home campus is Three Rivers?
I will defer. I will try my hand at the answer, but I would defer to Provost Heineck to provide greater detail. But I would say that it's likely that the head count counts at the home campus at Three Rivers, but wherever the credit is delivered would count at that particular campus.
That's what I would expect to see. The FTE number, they therefore may be different in that sense from the head count if the student is taking courses in more than one campus.
But I would defer to Provost Heineck if she's on the line.
Ira, wherever the student is homed, that's where the credits are housed at CT State. So if the
credits as well?
student has, so wherever their home campus is, that is where they are housed in the registrar system. So I know that from the accessibility work that I did at CT State. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Regent Porth, your hand is, do you have an additional question?
I'm sorry, I'll lower my hand. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the regents? Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Blanchard, for a very illuminating report.
Thank you. So
And we'll
long.
look forward to your proposed changes that are coming from you and the chancellor to the report. Okay. Continuing our journey, Provost Hagedis, Western.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Good morning,
You have your
Regents.
report and you have one proposed modification.
Yes, thank you, Regent Bloom. Good morning, Regents, fellow colleagues. I'll begin with my report, just bring up my notes. I've got a few updates. First, we've just heard of our enrollment numbers with Dr. Blanchard's report. We're up nearly 10% in enrollment, 10.6 in undergrad, 4.2 in graduate. I also wanted to note that our FTE, which we also look at carefully, is up by 6.9%. Our retention numbers as well have gone up by 3 percentage points. So we are now at 76, and this is part of our ongoing goal to get to 80% in the next 4 years. One thing I wanted to note in particular as it relates to this board is that some of our enrollments, when we disaggregate and look at our new or some of the reconfigured programs that we've brought to this committee and the board over the past couple of years, are trending in positive directions. So I think that's part of the success story. So for example, we approved a new option in sports management last year, and those numbers have increased from 58 to 82 this past census fall. So I think that's part of our ongoing careful alignment with any of our program changes or reconfigurations to be linked to strategic decisions in our areas of growth and interest from our students. Similarly, we have new options within our undergraduate business program, our BBA in finance and cybersecurity have gone up by about 9%. In fact, our Ansel School of Business numbers are now over 1,067 students enrolled, which is where we were at about 5 years ago. So I think, just wanting to highlight some of those numbers in our programs. And now we discussed this at our last meeting. We're fully implementing that pathway, the accelerated pathway from our BBA to MBA program, and beginning this year with some of our rising seniors who are already in that pathway program to be taking some of the MBA graduate courses as part of their senior year as we speak. Our concurrent enrollments, we just noted that there were actually some of those enrollments come in after the census data, so we're closer to 547. And again, that's part of working with our local school districts and building those partnership agreements last year. Up till that point, several years, we really hadn't, apart from Danbury and a few other districts, we had not been focusing too much on that space. So our Danbury High School students are 169. Those are up as well. And I just wanted to make a point of that. That's our continuing work with Danbury Public Schools. Further strengthened, President Bernal and I met recently with Superintendent Casimiro, and a lot of positive work in that space with our local public school. We're co-hosting a regional workforce exchange in early November in collaboration with Danbury Public Schools and Westcon. On new grants, similarly, we're excited to announce that the Student Support Services, the SSS program, we've had some new funds in this grant award cycle, and we received $1.3 million for a 5-year award from the U.S. Department of Education to support 140 students annually. We had seen quite a few of these awardees losing funding, so we are similarly very happy that we have secured that. This is a TRIO-funded initiative dedicated to empowering low-income, first-generation and disabled students in our community by providing comprehensive advising, mentoring, and academic support. The SS program is really designed to help our students achieve academic and career goals for a variety of personalized services at Westcon. And one thing I'd like to note, Rob Potey, who leads this and many other of our pre-collegiate and access programs at Westcon for many years, and in academic affairs in collaboration with our student affairs division as well. And the team has put in a lot of work. This is our first SSS grant, so I know others in the system have had these funds. And so once you're in there, assuming there will be some continuation of these funds, we're very, at this point in time, pleased with that success. And just a couple of other things to wrap up. Westcon's 11th annual day of service was on September 19th, and we had 1,313 participants that went to over 90 sites in the greater Danbury area. This number has gone up and up and up. A lot of those, a large portion of those number are students. It was a very exciting day. I ended up in a local elementary school teaching math and reading, which was super fun. And our students were really engaged in multiple ways, in multiple areas. So I think that, again, is really part of what we value at Westcon and our local community and giving back. So I'm very proud of that day and those who helped organize that. We are all ready for our site visit from our Netchie site team this weekend. They arrive on Sunday evening. Since we last spoke, much work has been done in preparation with the various groups that they wish to meet, to be focused on evidence of progress and also to be honest of the work to be done, particularly in our goals related to financial stability. So we are ready, and we look forward to our visiting team to be with us. The majority of the time will be on Monday. They will be meeting with the board chair, Marty Guay, and Chancellor Maduco in the morning, and Dr. Blanchard as well, early morning on Monday. And just one last thing, President Bernal and I were on NBC CT Live yesterday morning. It used to be you had 15 minutes of fame. I think we had about 3 minutes, 20 seconds. But that was great. It was fun. So thank you. That's Chair Bloom. That's the end of Westcon's campus update report.
Thank you, Provost Haggadas. Any questions of Provost Haggadas?
Good luck.
You.
Good luck with
luck,
the Netchie. I know so much work has gone into this, so fingers crossed that whole thing goes well, and
Yes,
confident that it will. Seeing how much you've already accomplished in the last year at Western. So thank you.
Thank you, Regent.
Ira, I wanted to say I agree with Juanita completely. I enjoyed our meeting, our visit to WestCon last week, and Also appreciated the extra information we received with regard to the status of the whole NECHI process. And like Juanita, it was encouraging to me. And I hope WestCon knows that it's a high priority for us too, and we'd like to support that work in whatever way we can. Thanks.
Yes, and I want to second what both of my colleagues have said. That, we will support what you need to have in whatever way we can. So thank you, Provost Agadas.
Thank you. I appreciate the support we all do at WestCon. Thank you, and confident that our Chancellor and Board Chair, they are ready and prepared for the visit as well.
Yeah. We move from Western to a more ethereal. Thank you, Provost Agadas, again.
We have one item as well from Western.
I'm sorry.
There is an
There's
item.
action item.
The name change item
The
from
name
Western.
change. The media arts, media
Yep, sorry,
production
yes.
name change.
Oh, yes, thank you. We have the media arts modification. Dr. Agadas.
Yes, not much to add with what's in the packet. I mean, this is an updating, this is the change to film and broadcasting, which is what is more relevant to the curriculum and what, with market insights, that's what students are looking for versus the other name. So that's really basically the rationale.
Yeah.
And it distinguishes it from our DEMA program, our interactive media arts program as well.
No, there's no sudden. The only change is the name change.
Correct.
Yes, that's what I got.
We have to bring it to the board for approval.
Yes, you have to. Yeah. Any questions or comments about the name change proposed from the regents? If there are no questions or comments, all those in favor of approving the name change?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you need a motion and a second, or is it just a?
I'm sorry. I moved.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion? Thank you, my colleagues.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Thank you, Provost.
Thank you very much.
My apologies for almost it's too wrapped up in what you were saying. So it's we move from Western to a more ethereal situation with Charter Oak State College. Provost Farrar.
All right. Good morning, Regents. Happy Friday. Just for updates for them. Obviously, with VP Blanchard, appreciate the enrollment report. I'll kind of have it really speak for itself, but just a couple of really highlights in there. You'll notice on there in particular about the certificate programs, up a lot. That's I'll remind the Regents what we did a few years ago is we actually removed 3/4 of our certificate programs that had no value. They didn't lead to any industry recognized credentials, and we reallocated those times and efforts and added some certificates of value. And so I think it shows that the quality could also then lead to quantity when we talk about our academic program planning. But I appreciate the board's support on our academic program plan process. And also I want to take a moment to give thanks and kudos really to our team here at Charter Oak, from our marketing to admissions to advising, keeping them here, to our faculty engaging with our students. Those numbers are by design, and it's a team effort that goes around. So I just want to take a moment to highlight that. And also it's with and I would say that the board should take credit for these as well, because again, it's you who actually approve our program plans that go along with it. So I appreciate it. So two quick highlights that I'd love to give as an update here about Charter Oak and just things that we have going on overall. One is that we are actually we're accepted as one of the colleges in cohort 3 of the Apprenticeship Degree Network. This is from the National Association of Apprenticeship Degrees. ADNET is a cohort of member-based community members designed to foster innovation, collaboration, and transformation through higher education and workforce training. And really being a part of this national network is to help us learn on how we can potentially launch and expand apprenticeship degrees in an effective manner. So we're going to have access to resources, institutions that have done this across the country, from the institutions to the employers to the policymakers who kind of have made this happen. We'll have toolkits, playbooks, resources to really help develop and scale any apprenticeship degree programs that we may wish to bring to the board into the future. So we're participating in monthly webinars and member-only convenings and discussions to really see if this is a path that we wish to move forward. But there's been some promising practices over a course of the country with some apprenticeship degree programs, and they're very unique. What makes them a little bit different is that if you build an apprenticeship degree, baccalaureate degree or something like that, upwards of half of the major is in apprenticeships as far as the credits go. And also that these programs, when have they been deployed nationally, are either low cost or no cost to the students because they leverage federal financial aid, state dollars, registered apprenticeship dollars, et cetera, to build that. So we're learning about that model to see if it's a match for Charter Oak, and if so, which degree programs in the future might be worthy of bringing forward to this body. So more on that into the future, but we are doing our legwork by being accepted into this national cohort of about 20 colleges across the country have been accepted. The second area where we've also been accepted and we're participating in is that Charter Oak is one of about 10 institutions that have been accepted into the AI Jobs for the Future AI Pioneers cohort. It's a peer networking collaboration group where we actually share our best practices of cutting-edge AI integration from curriculum to technology to all areas of implementation there. And also we get access to community research tools, AI integration and adaptation expertise from national leaders. And then also there's dollars from Jobs for the Future that Charter Oak has received to help with also to go to national convenings on this as well. So those are two areas, again, as we talk about our workforce development. These are two, I think, great institutions and networks that we've been able to tap into that'll guide us not only now, but also into the future. And so with that, that is the report for Charter Oak over the past month. And it's the calm before the storm when we bring in our programs for 26.
We're awaiting them with interest.
It's not that big.
Congratulations, Dave. They're both such exciting opportunities, and the fact we're really putting Charter Oak on the map and getting that kind of national acceptance and recognition. So kudos to the entire team. That's really exciting.
Other questions, comments of Dr. Farrar from the Regents? Thank you very much. We appreciate your interesting report and your movement and the way the campus is moving. Continuing back on the ground, Southern, Dr. Irwin.
Good morning. I have no action items, so I'll just give I'll keep it brief updates. We have a 6 workshop series on Gen AI in the current climate that we just kicked off at Southern, which is essentially faculty development run by Drs. Marsubian, Wang, and Brown. It was really popular, so that was exciting, get everybody kind of trained up. Our Office of Workforce and Lifelong Learning has decided to pursue quality assurance from NECHI starting this fall, joining our colleagues at Central. We had a bunch of administrators and faculty go to our sister kind of Barack Obama Magnet University School as part of Senator Winfield's Because You Matter tour and just kind of cheer the kids on. The National Communication Association's Rex Mix Program of Excellence Award, that's a tough one, recognized and honored our communication department for outstanding undergraduate communication programs. With respect to grants, we have officially become a part of the NSF's EPIC, or Enabling Partnerships to Increase Innovation Capacity. We're partnering with Allegheny College in Pennsylvania and Xavier University of Louisiana. And this is designed for university industry partnerships And the objective is encourage wider engagement in cutting edge technologies on behalf of the entire system. So we'll be reaching out to colleagues. We have moved to the next step in quantum CT, and our very own Christine Broadbridge is a co-PI on that. And I wanted to mention one more event, which is the Emerging Technologies Forum, which will be held on November 14th at 101 College Street. And this will involve speakers from Ocean X, from Quantum CT, Bio CT, and our new president of Gateway. So I think that's what I have for today. Thank you.
Any comments or questions? Last month you reported on the loss of your grant. As any other challenges coming from that direction because of what's happening in
Well, so
Washington?
this NSF grant is actually a new one that we have received. So it's a little hard to predict. And we are really hopeful for the quantum CT grant. So there has been some loss, and it's been very difficult, but not debilitating. I guess I would point out that this EPIC grant is explicitly designed to partner with industry. So one way we're keeping our R2 mission moving is to collaborate with industry and not only rely on federal funding.
Very wise. Very wise. I'm thrilled to see too. I know Senator Gary Winfield is incredibly supportive on the Higher Ed Committee, and they have really expressed an interest in doing more with us, having us keep them more informed. So that's continue to nurture that. I think for our entire system, this is very, very good news. So.
The other comment, I'm impressed by the partnership with Xavier, Louisiana. 100 years ago, in my dim and distant youth, I was involved we were involved in a partnership with Xavier at that time, and it's a very interesting and accomplished institution. So I think this is.
I believe it's the first HBCU that's a Catholic university.
Yeah.
And essentially, in this NSF grant, there were two stages. The first stage is we all get together, a bunch of universities, and it's almost like speed dating. We match up. And so Zula has this incredible Center for Teaching and Learning, and Allegheny has very strong, because of where they're located, workforce and upskilling of individuals that worked in kind of machine and mechanical jobs. And so we found a kind of way to collaborate, and we will actually travel to each other's institution once a year per institution, but we will share things like IP and tech transfer. We will share ideas for upskilling in the community and a website. So I have to say, I'm one of the co-PIs on this. It was really fun to put together.
I can see that. Thank you. That's really interesting. Thank you very much. Central?
Central already spoke.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
The order. We should be at CT State right now.
State.
Yeah, CT State. Yeah, Central left already. Yes, I remember. Dr. Heineck?
So good morning, Regents. I'm Dr. Tan reporting for Dr.
You're
Heineck.
Substituting for Dr. Heineck today.
Yes, she is. She is at the special meeting of our College Senate for our shared governance curriculum vote. This is really an important vote, so I'm hoping things are going well at that meeting right now, so that we can set up our process to bring curriculum changes to you. We are also excited about the enrollment up second year in a row. I think it was 4.3% was what was reported. And that also our dual enrollment is up, and part of our efforts to increase enrollment in our dual and concurrent enrollment populations is to we are offering summits. We're having 5 of those. We had our first one yesterday at CT State Housatonic. It was very well handled. Jordan Long and Kelly Falvey did a fantastic job putting that program together. Really good response. And then there'll be 4 next week, including Capital, Gateway, Norwalk, and Quinebaug Valley. And of course, these are designed to socialize our new dual enrollment policy and procedure. And again, we're excited about increasing that enrollment. We have our upcoming ACME Summit. That's going to be on Halloween. ACME is the Alignment of College Math and English. And that will be to plan the next steps for our co-requisite learning communities and our first-year experience courses, connecting them more strongly to the majors and bridging to the programming. Last week, Chancellor Maduko, Provost Heineck, CFO Kelly met with the NETCHI Commission regarding our team-focused visit in April. It was very good response. The meeting went really well. Progress is being made, and we are preparing for our self-study in the fall of 2027. And I attended a ribbon cutting at CT State Housatonic for the Advanced Manufacturing Center, along with Provost Heineck and several other leaders, including the Mayor of Bridgeport, and Ghanem, and our Congressman Himes, who spoke, that he was also in attendance to cut the ribbon. And that was, again, very exciting for that campus and that community. And it was wonderful to see the students and alumni come out. And that ends my report.
Thank you. You sure you want to do that special program on Halloween?
I know. It's a little scary.
It might be interesting. Any questions or comments for CT State?
Things just keep moving forward. Thank you.
Yes. The progress is impressive, so thank you. We are back to the system office. Dr. Diamond.
Hi, everyone. I have a couple of brief updates for the regents on the call. As you well know, we spent a wonderful time together at the Provost Retreat this summer and did a lot of work on our program forms. And again, this is the action that makes academic nerds very, very happy. The consequence of doing this work on our programmatic forms is that it has brought up discussions about policy change, because as we change the forms, we really need to update many of our policies that are aligned with the academic approval process. So that's where we are right now. The provost received this week System Office's first round of edits on both the academic program review policy and the low completer policy. We are doing this collectively. So I submitted to them all of my intended updates to the document, and it will be with them for a month. We will come back together and then follow the process as we do with our compliance office here at the system office. So I just wanted to highlight, this is a really heavy policy year. We are thrilled that we have the professionals here working at the system office that are focused on compliance and the policy work that we do. So in addition to those two, the next piece that is coming for us is a smaller one, but very important, is working to get together collectively on the language surrounding our policy on centers and institutes, and really shoring up the reporting calendar that goes along with our centers and institutes, because it's been a little squishy, and all of us, the provost and myself, have voiced concern that it's hard to track this, and even down to definition. So we're in the middle of those really great conversations right now. So that is it that I have for you this month. But just the focus right now in October and the remainder of the fall is shoring up our academic approval processes and making sure that we don't have redundant action, and really talking collectively about how we can make our work more efficient.
Thank you. I just want to, I think the last time we talked about centers and institutes, I'm happy to hear that this is being focused upon, because there's some lack of clarity, I think, in the current in the current policies, and I think it's important to have a clear distinction between what is an institute and what is a center, and what the functions of the centers and institutes are. So I'm very happy to hear that. And they can be the core of the centers and institutes can be the core of some really important work that we're doing. So I think this is really important. Any questions or comments from the Regents for Dr. Diamond?
No.
Okay.
Goodness.
Last but certainly not least, Dr. Stevens dealing with our students, which of course is our North Star. So
Hello,
Dr. Stevens?
everybody. Good morning. I'll make
Good
this
morning.
brief as well. I have a couple of updates. Our Student Advisory Committee has elected its 2 student regents, so we're very excited to announce that. We have Dakota Lawson from Northwestern Community College and Tyler Yee, who is at Central Connecticut State University, and they are both off to a wonderful start planning and meeting with the student reps from across the system. My other update is there is a group task force / committee working on the graduate assistant, graduate intern comments that came to the board last year. We have had our second meeting as a group. There's a group from across the entire system that is working, that represents folks from HR, provost representatives, et cetera, from the system. Our next steps are to explore the stipends and other markets that compare to our system. That is our next step with the group. We have gathered all data, all job descriptions. I'm really proud of this group. They've done some outstanding work in, I think it's been 22 days, and we're really excited to see the work that this group is doing. So next steps is market value and market stipends from across the nation to find out what other people are paying their graduate assistants, and then also to talk with Cameron Liston about the timeline and review for the policy and resolutions. So those are the next steps with the GA and GI resolutions, and also identifying what we're going to do next as far as drafting the timeline. So that's the update there. And my last update is in 24-25, we had over 1,200 faculty and staff and managers engaged in system office-led professional development opportunities. They were all voluntary, and we will be renewing our contract with Dr. Forrest Helvey, who is a faculty member from the Tungus Community Campus. He has a 6-credit release with us, and we will be offering additional professional development opportunities for the system. More information will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, including our Leadership Academy and other various programs, including civil dialogue. We have our classroom management series. He is discussing with the various centers for teaching and campus leaders various AI programming to not duplicate, but to supplement and assist with various programming from across the campuses. We're looking at a programming series supporting neurodivergent students within the classrooms. We are also looking at working with HR on our online orientation platform. And we are also looking at various credentials for our faculty and staff and badging across our system. So we're really excited to continue that work, and that'll be starting in the next couple of weeks. And so you'll be seeing that come out, and this will be copied to obviously all of our leaders across our system. And we're very excited to have him continue with us and do that work, because it was really well received last year. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share those updates. And again, I'm really excited about our 2 new student regents and the work that they're already planning on doing. And they're really excited to participate in the Student Advisory Committee. Thank you, regents.
That's great. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Stevens. Any questions of Dr. Stevens from the regents?
It's all good.
Yep. Okay. This concludes the agenda. If there are no final comments, I would take and entertain what is usually the most popular motion at the meeting, which is the motion to adjourn. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Meeting is formally adjourned. I want to thank everybody for their participation in the meeting today. I think it was very helpful. We want to wish Provost Haggadas well with the Netchi crew coming in this weekend. So keep it going, and thank you. I thank everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
Have a
And,
good
And with
weekend,
that, the
everyone.
live stream has ended.
Bye.
okay.